Imagine a world where gravity isn't a constant, unshakable force, but something that could be switched off like a light. One moment, your feet are firmly on the ground, and the next, you're drifting helplessly into the sky, weightless, untethered. The laws of physics would no longer be universal. They would be optional. And whoever controlled that switch would hold the fate of the entire planet in their hands. At first, it might feel exhilarating. Humans would float like astronauts, freed from the burden of their own weight. Kids could leap into the air and soar across playgrounds. Athletes could perform impossible stunts, and skyscrapers could be built with almost no effort as heavy materials floated into place. But beneath the novelty lies something far darker. Without gravity, even briefly, the entire system that life depends on would collapse. Water wouldn't stay in rivers or oceans. The moment gravity was cut, waves, lakes, and seas would explode into the air, breaking apart into vast floating spheres of liquid, drifting unpredictably. The atmosphere itself could begin to thin and scatter, leaking into space without the pull that keeps it anchored to Earth. Breathing might become impossible after just a few moments of exposure. And then there's us. Our muscles, our bones, our very biology are built for gravity. If gravity switched off regularly, our bodies would begin to weaken, just like astronauts in orbit. Bones would lose density, muscles would shrink, hearts would struggle to pump blood properly. If the switch could flip unpredictably, you'd never know when you might suddenly lose your grip on the world and drift into the sky, helpless unless you were tied down. Imagine cities filled with people wearing harnesses, ropes, and weighted boots just in case. But the real danger wouldn't come from nature, it would come from power. If one person, one government, or one corporation controlled the gravity switch, it would be the ultimate weapon. Wars wouldn't be fought with guns or bombs. They'd be fought by deciding who gets to stay on the ground and who floats away. Cities could be destroyed instantly, economies shattered overnight, entire populations lifted and scattered like dust. Gravity would become a tool of control, of fear, of dominance. And even if it weren't in the hands of a tyrant, imagine the chaos of ordinary people experimenting with it. Would students prank their teachers by turning it off during class? Would criminals rob banks by floating right out of reach? Would space travel become effortless? Or would entire satellites and spacecraft be ripped from orbit if gravity on Earth flickered unpredictably? Gravity, the invisible glue that holds our universe together, is the one constant we all take for granted. If it could be switched off, the world as we know it wouldn't just change, it would become unrecognizable. Cities would need to be redesigned, homes reinforced with anchor points, and every human would live in constant fear of the moment their tether might snap and send them floating into the void. In the end, the question isn't just what if gravity could be turned off. It's whether humanity could survive knowing the very force that holds us to our planet was no longer reliable.